Ketlen Vieira busted up the returned former Strikeforce and UFC Women's Bantamweight champion Miesha Tate for 5 full rounds in the headliner of UFC Fight Night 198. Unfortunately for Fenomeno, though, it likely didn't push her any closer to a title shot. The Brazilian controlled most of the 25 minutes with a sharp jab and superior striking. And while it was a clear win for Vieira, it was by no means dominant. And it was over a fighter with a record of 1-3 from her last 4 fights, and with just 2 fights in 5 years. This victory puts me right where I want to be, back at the top. Top 5, Vieira said after the fight. There will be a championship fight coming up soon, so I'm right back to where I want to be again. As for Cupcake, this loss is a serious setback in her quest for another shot at the UFC title against the woman who took it from her, Amanda Nunes. This has led some to speculate about another retirement, but Tate has said no such thing. In the co-main, the undefeated Sean Brady proved his place in the upper echelons of the welterweight division by out-grappling one of the best grapplers in the game, Michael Chiesa. While it wasn't the stoppage he wanted, he did become the first man to beat Chiesa by points. Considering that Chiesa has faced the best of the best at welterweight, it's actually saying quite a lot, and he wants more. I think the winner of Bilal and Wonderboy would be fun, said Brady. I don't know what they're both ranked, but I know they're in the top 10, and the new number 8 might be onto something. The 2-time title contender Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has stalled at number 5 due to his 3-4-1 record from his last 8 fights. Bilal Muhammad, however, has risen through the rankings to number 10 with 5 wins since 2019 and 1 no contest to Leon Edwards. Brady now sits between the two, so either of those men could be a great fight for the division. In an event filled with decisions, Talia Santos took home the only performance bonus with the only stoppage of the card. Adrian Yannis' split decision victory over Davy Grant won them Fight of the Night. Former UFC dual division champ Conor McGregor has announced who he wants to face in his comeback bouts, and the picks were obvious. I'm facing whoever the has that lightweight title next, McGregor tweeted. Deal with it. Take off your goggles and mark the trilogy unfinished. Deal with that too. McGregor has been sidelined since snapping his leg in half during his second loss to Dustin Poirier. That left the Diamond with a 2-1 advantage in the unfinished trilogy he's talking about. However, the man with the lightweight title is Charles Oliveira, whom McGregor has never faced, and who faces Poirier in just a few weeks. Either would be great fights, but the chances of McGregor getting the winner of that bout are slim to say the least. At his best, the Irishman was one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in UFC history. But that was some time ago. McGregor has fought just 7 times in the last 6 years, and he lost more of those fights than he won. On top of that, there's men like Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush, and Justin Gaethje, who all have far stronger claims to the title fight. So while McGregor is still clearly the UFC's biggest draw card, he may finally have to wait in line like everyone else. Jorge Masvidal's mystery injury may have been uncovered by his latest arch-rival, the 2-time welterweight contender and the UFC's #1 heel, Colby Covington. So that fragile dude, Street Judas Jorge Masvidal, he broke his ribs, revealed Covington. He fractured his ribs last Saturday in training, and yeah, he's fragile, and he had to pull out of the fight. Masvidal was scheduled to face the seemingly cursed Leon Edwards at the upcoming Oliveira vs. Poirier UFC 269 fight card, but withdrew this week without divulging any details. Covington, who was an ex-teammate and friend of Masvidal, now claims that insiders from Masvidal's gym told him what happened. And speaking of heels in professional wrestling, former light heavyweight champ Jon Jones made 2 announcements this week. The first was that he's 60 days sober since being arrested in September for alleged domestic violence involving his longtime fiancée, before headbutting a police car, all just hours after being inducted into the UFC's Hall of Fame. The second is that he has booked a heavyweight grappling match against WWE and AEW pro wrestler and Bellator heavyweight Jake Hager. Jones has been out of the cage since vacating the light heavyweight title in February of 2020, following a close decision win over Dominic Reyes. The former champ's intended heavyweight debut has been delayed by multiple contract disputes and being banned from his longtime gym Jackson Wink MMA after his latest run-in with the law. So we might have to wait a little longer for the return of Johnny Bones. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.